What's up, YouTube? It's me, Matt38. I thought I would talk about the scaling issue in WoW retail at the moment, what's causing it. So every single time you level up without any gear on, it doesn't matter, you may be fully geared or ungeared. Your character gains stats passively. So on the attributes tab, my mage, when I get to 27, will have like 85 intellect, even though I didn't equip any more gear with intellect on. And he will have like 250 stamina. The rate at which my attributes for my character increase is ridiculously high in comparison to the rate at which these mobs' attributes increase. Their attributes are like their stamina, their damage they deal. So my character at level 26 is effectively, 1.5 times more powerful than the mobs I'm facing. So how would you nerf it? How would you fix this? And this is what people refer to as the power curve. This is what is causing people to go like, oh my god, at level 10 my character is so powerful, and then when I get to level 20 he's doing less damage. So the fix is basically nerfing these attributes and the rate at which you get them. And this has been a system which has been used from Classic since, but in Shadowlands I think the scaling they didn't really take into an effect of another invisible factor. And this is what we're going to talk about. And I see a lot of people are apathetic about leveling. They're like, oh, well, leveling shouldn't exist in the game. And the issue with an opinion like that is it's just inherently wrong. Leveling needs to exist in WoW because if you are playing this game and you are new and you join the game, you need a journey to level up in, to learn your class, how to play your class. And when leveling is good on retail, it can actually be really fun. So if they fix the scaling issues and your character's not this just insane Terminator who cannot be stopped at all costs, it will be very good for a lot of players. Because I'm only level 26 and look how many abilities I have. Imagine just going in to the game and there was no leveling. I had max, gear or whatever. All of these abilities were filled out. It's the most confusing thing ever. So you need a sort of gradual progression of learning how to play your class. It's why a lot of the time I level a character to 80 and I have to sit there for like 20 minutes learning its rotation and stuff before I go into PvP. And it's just kind of really annoying that there's a disconnect between playing the game and then learning how to play it once you've got to max level. It also makes leveling feel more rewarding, more fun, more challenging, and when there's challenging, it's more engaging. You're going to have more people leveling through the game if there's actually challenge to it. If you're just like this guy who can one-shot everything, it becomes boring quite quickly. So, what's this other factor which we're talking about? Now, this is called skill inflation. It's attribute inflation. It is entirely related to gear. And first of all, another thing is if you lower these attributes your character naturally acquires as he levels up, gear suddenly becomes really meaningful again. It's why people are like, oh my god, gear doesn't matter anymore, which is completely true. Gear is redundant. I can level to 80 in no gear and still have challenge in the game and still be doing a lot of damage. It doesn't matter because basically these are just amplifiers of my damage. So if you nerf these leveling attributes, you fix a massive issue. What's another problem which is happening silently in the game? This is what is described as the invisible power curve. And it's not actually a deliberate power curve. It's something that wasn't taken out of the game since Legion. And effectively, it is the scaling system which was integrated in Legion. The best way to describe it was basically when you got to level 100 in Legion and you wanted to level and you didn't want to do you wanted to do a different zone at a time, you could choose which zone you wanted to level in, and that was the start of the scaling system, which later developed into going into the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor and being able to do whichever zone you wanted and being able to play it all the way through without out leveling it. It's what caused the scaling system in the first place, which was good, and then it went bad pretty much in Shadowlands. So the issue is Legion's scaling system is pretty much designed around gear modification. It's a modifier. It means that 7 intellect or 3 intellect in the game is actually, identified as about being 18 intellect. So they inflate this number 3 here. Rather than saying my gloves are 18 intellect, it actually modifies it here where it would say like +8 or +16. The number is like progressive as well. So like you get to level 46 and it's effectively like +2 to your intellect, 1 intellect point. Then it becomes like +3 and then it becomes +4, +5, +6, and then it goes all the way up to 177.5 when you reach level 80. So the issue with this is that your gear is insanely sort of inflated and you don't even realize it. And they've not removed this system since Legion. And it basically follows through from Legion to Battle for Azeroth to Shadowlands, all the way up to the War Within, where your character is basically power is massively determined by your gear. And there's a huge gap because if you take off your gear, your character is just really, really not powerful at all. So yeah, that is the issue. And what is this causing? Well, I don't think Blizzard actually know how to fix this. That's why I think they're outsourcing developers on leveling. I don't think leveling is a priority to them, and they're bringing in people who don't know how to fix this problem. So these people are looking at this thing and going like, okay, this scaling is completely out of hand. How are we going to fix this? We're going to basically nerf the mobs or buff the mobs, which shouldn't have to be the case. What should be going on is actually the character themselves should be nerfed. You shouldn't have to artificially buff mobs. This will only create more problems down the line. And what is going on with the scaling is effectively it's sitting in like a dormant sort of cancer. And that only gets worse as you incrementally add to that, trying to solve a problem without first principles. Simplicity is king, and I think a good leveling experience is what will change the game massively. We don't need systems on top of systems. We've already got a scaling system. We don't need a compression system for stat squishing. It's not even stat squishing, it's just a compression system for stats. And this sort of imaginary gear scaling thing. Because I can wear these gloves at level 80, and their values will actually be a lot higher. It'll be like 300 intellect and 400 stamina, but it will only say +3 intellect and +4 stamina. That's my point. So yeah, that's the problem. That's what's going on. And yeah, hopefully that solves a lot of, why is leveling in retail broken?